Hello, sunshine. Everything you always wanted to know about the sun. Vitamin D. There is hardly any other nutrient that is currently being talked about as much as vitamin D. Following topics will be handled within this video. What are its health benefits? How much do I need? Where do I get it? And what does it actually have to do with the sun? Myth about vitamin D. Discovery of vitamin D. Vitamin D is, casually speaking, a hybrid between a vitamin and a hormone. Hormones are messenger substances that transmit important messages in the body. If they are missing, the silent male no longer works. What vitamin D can do? It ensures that teeth and bones are supplied with their building material, calcium. It takes care of muscle function and calcium balance. It is a special friend of the immune system and supports the body's protective barriers. It has an important function in cell division. Vitamin D has meanwhile become a much-researched preventive vitamin. You can find an interesting article to read on the science blog Essentials. How to fill up on vitamin D naturally. With the help of sunlight, UVB rays, your body can produce active vitamin D3 from cholesterol in your skin. Vitamin D is also found in a few foods. Since it is fat-soluble, we store it in our fat depots. If we spend regular time outdoors in summer in our latitudes, it is estimated that 80 to 90% of vitamin D comes from the body's own production in the skin. The remaining 10 to 20% comes from food. Vitamin D and the sun. For vitamin D3 to be formed in the skin must be exposed to the sun or UVB radiation. The body's own production depends on the geographical location. At European latitudes, between March and October, it is sufficient for the majority of the population to expose only a quarter of the body surface, face, hands and parts of arms and legs, to the sun for a short time each day. In autumn and winter, sunlight is not strong enough to ensure sufficient vitamin D formation. Take a small sun bath every day. The table shows the amount of sunbathing time around midday, 12 to 15 o'clock, that would be necessary for the body's own vitamin D3 formation, depending on your skin type and the time of year. This does not mean that you have to go out in the sun at midday. It is meant to show the values determined in studies and serve as a guideline. In the morning from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and in the late afternoon from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., the necessary stay in the sun doubles. Sunscreen can also affect the body's own production. Take a little sun bath every day. The table shows the amount of sunbathing time around midday, 12:15 p.m., that would be necessary for the body's own vitamin D3 production, depending on your skin type and the time of year. This does not mean that you have to go out in the sun at midday. It is meant to show the values determined in studies and serve as a guideline. In the morning from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and in the late afternoon from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., the necessary stay in the sun doubles. Sunscreen can also affect the body's own production. Skin type I/2, fair to very fair skin color, light red or blonde hair, blue or green eyes. April, May 10 to 20 minutes. June to August, 5 to 10 minutes. September onwards, 10 to 20 minutes. Skin type 3, medium skin color, dark hair, brown eyes. April, May 15 to 25 minutes. June to August, 10 to 15 minutes. September onwards, 15 to 25 minutes. Vitamin D3 formation in the skin is influenced by the following factors. Latitude. Time of year/day. Air pollution. Use of sunscreen. Clothing. Length of time spent outdoors. Skin pigmentation. Decreasing skin thickness with age. Skin diseases. How much vitamin D does my body need? European nutrition societies recommend a daily intake of 20 micrograms of vitamin D, equivalent to 800 IU, for adults, children from the age of 1, adolescents, pregnant and breastfeeding women. According to various nutrition reports, about 44% of men and almost 40% of women in Central European countries are deficient in vitamin D. These foods contain vitamin D. Only a very few foods contain significant amounts of vitamin D. These include fish, trout, salmon, mackerel, herring, egg yolks, mushrooms, e.g. mushrooms, dairy products and fortified foods, e.g. juices, breakfast cereals, margarine, etc. Vitamin D is also found in many vitamin supplements. Have vitamin D levels checked in the laboratory. The supply status can be determined with the help of a blood test. The blood marker for vitamin D status is the concentration of 25-hydroxyvitamin D3. A level of more than 15 mol/L equals 20 ing/ml is desirable. A vitamin D deficiency is said to exist when the level is less than 30 mol/L equals 12 ing/ml. Vitamin D myths. I have no problem with vitamin D because I get enough sun. This is only partly true. If you live in Central European countries, you have a good chance of being well supplied with vitamin D in spring and summer, provided you spend some time outdoors every day with short sleeves. The situation is different in autumn and winter. From October to March, there is too little sunlight. You could even ski naked all day and still not cover your needs through your skin. In these months with little sunshine, we are therefore dependent on the supply through food. Read here how long you need to stay in the sun between March and October to produce enough vitamin D3 in your skin and which foods contain significant amounts of vitamin D. A healthy diet is enough for everyone to fill up on enough vitamin D. Unfortunately, no. Your body produces 80 to 90% of its daily requirement itself in the skin with enough sun exposure. The rest should come from vitamin D-rich foods. However, we only take in a small amount of vitamin D with our food, because fish, the best source, is rarely eaten. To reach the desirable 20 micrograms per day, g/day, in autumn and winter, when the body's own vitamin D production is lacking, we would have to eat a portion of salmon or 12 eggs or 1 kilogram of mushrooms every day. Vitamin D products must always be taken with high-fat meals. This may be true for some vitamin D products. Some have already been developed according to a formula that enables the body to utilize the contained vitamin D3 well even on an empty stomach, whether for breakfast or in the evening just before brushing your teeth. The valuable vitamin D3 from our products is always optimally absorbed. When you take those supplements, please check entirely if they are good for you and your body. To build up vitamin D in the skin, I must not use sunscreen. Fact: consistent use of sunscreen can protect against severe sunburn and thus reduces the risk of skin cancer. Avoiding sunscreen only out of fear of vitamin D deficiency would therefore be fatal. If you put on sunscreen, this only partially impairs vitamin D3 production in the skin. This is because sunscreen cannot block UV rays 100%. With an average dose of cream, 0.5 to 1 mg/cm superscript 2, your body can still produce vitamin D3. Only those who always applied a particularly thick layer of sun cream with a high sun protection factor, 2 mg per square centimeter, have to reckon with reduced vitamin production. In addition, in summer people usually spend more than 3 times a week outdoors and usually for longer than 15 minutes. Find out here which factors also have an influence on vitamin D production. Vitamin D is washed away in showers and baths. Don't worry. You can shower, swim or bathe with a clear conscience without losing any vitamin D. It is true that the precursor of active vitamin D is formed from 7-dehydrocholesterol in the skin with the help of UVB radiation. However, this process takes place in the skin cells, intracellularly, namely in those of the lower layers of the epidermis, more precisely in the basal layer and the prickle cell layer. Since vitamin D production does not take place directly on the surface of the skin, you would theoretically have to shave off a good layer of skin to hinder vitamin D production. The myth that cold showers boost vitamin D production is also scientifically untenable. On the contrary, body heat is also necessary for proper conversion in the skin. Discovery of vitamin D. The discovery of vitamin D is linked to the search for a cure for rickets in 1919. It was shown that rickets could be cured by irradiation with artificially produced UV light. 2 years later, this was also demonstrated by irradiation with normal sunlight. Independently of these findings, the British physician Edward Mellanby, 1884 to 1955, was convinced at about the same time. Was convinced that rickets was caused by a nutritional deficiency and was also able to show in 1919 in experiments with dogs that rickets could be cured by butter, milk and especially cod liver oil. He then considered vitamin A, which had only recently been discovered in cod liver oil, to be the triggering factor. It was known that vitamin A is destroyed by oxidation. Cod liver oil therefore loses its ability to cure night blindness after oxidative treatment. However, cod liver oil treated in this way was still able to cure rickets. The chemist Elmer McCullum, in collaboration with the pediatrician John Howland, concluded that another substance, independent of the known vitamin A, caused this effect. As the fourth vitamin found, after vitamins A, B and C, it was then named vitamin D. Thank you for watching your vitamin D level.